Welcome, welcome, welcome! It's your girl V from Drinking Tea with V, and you are now here locked into the best place to be. Hey, on a Sunday, on a fun day, any day, have it your way. Alright. This is take two. I did the video before. I did the video before, and yeah, I had to redo it again. It was too long, and I'm about that editing life. Well, I am, but I don't have time for that right now, so I'd rather redo it. And I hope that you get all of the nuggets of wisdom that you can get out of this. Today we're going to be talking about safety and intuition, or intuition and safety. However it is I name it in the title, that is what we're going to be talking about today. And if this is your first time tuning into Drinking Tea with V, and you want to know what it's all about, is basically your Sunday slumber party with a business / entrepreneurial flair, and basically your place to be for brain entertainment and fun. Today is not that much of a fun vibe. Today is more of a serious topic, but we're still gonna bring it across really lightly and straight to the point. And yeah, but let me see. I we usually start off with flavor of the day with Drinking Tea with V, but as I already went through an episode that was quite long, this was my chai. This was my strong chai that I love. It is really spicy and I love it. But yes, like I said, take two. We're here. We gonna do this. So that was my flavor of the day. Strong chai for a strong topic. All right, and we're gonna roll on straight into the positive vibes before we get too heavy. Okay, we're gonna roll on straight into the positive vibes, because with these quickie series I really want to condense it into also being a place of positive vibes. And in this case, that's what we have the tea and coffee for. And some people think they're tea people, and some people think they're coffee people. In this case, you are both, because tea is something that zens you out and relaxes you, and coffee is something that makes you get hype, makes you get excited, makes you want to party. So yes, that is it. Is our moment for gratitude. Is taking a moment to really just focus on gratitude no matter what. So my tea for this week, what zen me out, is the fact that I have to laugh because it happened so funny. I Let me get into it. So I was getting ready last week. I was getting ready, and actually I didn't want to leave the house, and somebody was like, yeah, so come, blah blah blah. I was like, well, if I'm gonna leave the house, guess what, I'm gonna do this, that too, one time, and then go there. So at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, let's go. And y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I am headstrong. I'm gonna go. I want to get something done, I'm gonna do it. But that headstrongness kind of gets me. Yeah, sometimes I do not listen to my intuition while I should. And in this case, it was a classic example. It was something little, and I felt like when I was getting ready, I was like, girl, leave that alone. Just go over to your friend's house, just chill out, whatever. Actually, I wasn't going to chill out, I was going to work on my stuff there. But I was like, I don't feel like I should actually go and run those errands before I go. But I was like, no, if I am getting out of the house, then we gonna do it all around her, and cause I ain't going tomorrow. But anyways, so that happened, and what happened was that I ended up knocking up my foot. I ended up knocking up the back of my heel, and there was blood streaming down because it was really hot that day, and I was busy getting ready. So I'm like, oh my god, I need to leave the house. This is time sensitive. I need to get there before this and that time because the place will close. But anyway, so I ended up trying to get this whole situation, my wound, under control and stop the bleeding and so forth. And so that took up time. And I was like, okay, so now my outfit had to be changed. I was like, I don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate this. Now I have to see how to make this whole thing work. Anyways, at the end of the day, 2 days later, I found out exactly why I didn't have to go. And like my intuition told me, don't bother. Do not bother. And so I was able to do where I would have been spending time and money. Um, I could have done, I could have gotten what I needed to get done in a much more simple way. And I was like, girl, why you don't listen? Why you don't listen when God talking to you? It's like sometimes you so headstrong, you don't listen. Listen, Lena, listen, Lena, listen. So yeah, that was relaxing to know that yes, my intuition works. And yes, I need to pay more attention to it. And this is gonna be the road de that, yeah, the road de that, like how they say, that is going to be the main thing throughout this whole thing. And that is where intuition and safety comes in. Woo child. Anyways, so that was my tea. My coffee is, I am super duper duper excited about a new opportunity that I got. And sometimes you work, and then it's like you don't see the fruits of your labor, and then all of a sudden, like, an opportunity presents itself. Actually, two, and I can only do one of the two. So now I have to see what I'm gonna do. But I know one for sure is really what I'm seeing. I want to go for, and the other one I'm still gonna have a chit chat to see who of what, um, how or what. Yeah, that's actually who of what is how or what. What is what. In English, then I'm gonna see what is what, and who knows, maybe something else might come out of that as well. So that got me hyped and excited. Anywho's, let's roll on straight on into the topic, guys. Whew, let me see how. Yes, see if we can get this under a half an hour. Anywho's, this is where, did I mention already? I don't even mention. Things are just running through. If you're 16 and under, click away now. Look at it with your parents, or have your parents look at this before, because we're gonna get into a more heavier topic at this point. Okay, so if you're 16 and under, click away, look at it with your parents, or have your parents look at it, and then y'all can have this discussion after. All right? All right. So let's get started with this topic on intuition and safety. I'm going to start off like from the beginning so y'all could get a really good perspective of how everything was happening and so forth. But anyway, so as a child, I already know that I realized that I was highly intuitive and highly sensitive to certain things, and so sometimes even when people would tell me like, I think you're overreacting or whatever, I would then still find out after. Ooh, sorry about that. I would then still find out after exactly why I felt the way I felt. And this happened on multiple occasions, and in this case, if we're talking about safety as in personal safety, I got really I didn't feel right about something. I didn't feel right about being in the presence of someone, and after a while I was like, you know what, I am just not going with you. Like, if that person is going to be there, I don't want to be there. I don't want to hug them, I don't want to kiss them, I don't want to touch you, I like, no, no, no. And so, having seen that, my mom was like, okay, so this is really a thing. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just not comfortable around that person, or with that person doing X, Y, and Z. So that was taken seriously. The person was spoken to, and it was good from there on out. It was like, hey, hi, what's up, good. But it wasn't like that kind of intimate vibes going on, like no hugging, no kissing, no touching, no joking, and pinching butts, and I was like, no, I cannot have this. It doesn't make me feel good. So that is where it started. And I must also say that kids are so highly intuitive that if they say they don't want to hug somebody and whatever, or they don't want somebody around them, like, listen, listen, please. Because I've seen so many situations where I was like, that is why. But we are taught to not to listen to our intuition. Moving forward, also when I was a kid, there was a family friend who came over, and I told my grandmother, like, I don't appreciate him being here. It's like, I don't like his bullying kind of vibes. I don't like his, like, there was a situation where he was shoving himself on me and also my cousin, and I didn't like it. I told my grandmother at the point in time, I'm like, this and this is happening, and like, I don't really, no, but it's just kids. It's just, oh, whatever, family and friend, da, 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 yeah. I'm like, no, I can't have this person around. Luckily, there were several situations that happened in between that to this point. Luckily, when it got at its worst, I wiggled my way from that person and was able to find safety. Oh boy. My battery is getting lower. But anyway, I wiggled my way from this person, and I found safety. My uncle came in and caught the situation, and he was banned from our house. Again, intuition, safety. This is not only intuition. My intuition kicked in before, and I was like, I don't like this dude. Like, I want to have him around. But then it was like, oh no, blah 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 blah. You know, you're overreacting. You're just, kids will be kids. And no, it turned out like to be a whole different situation. Thank God for my uncle coming in at that point in time, because Lord knows what could have gone wrong. So that is that. Now, if you were on my social media, you would have seen that I shared a candid story about being caught in the middle of a robbery at gunpoint, and also with knives. That wasn't cool, but at the point in time, again, I just went ahead, like, whatever. Get on with it. Life goes on. Got stuff to do. Got people to see. And also, I was talking about what happened in the relational sphere, because I was really open and really vulnerable with this person. And so I'm gonna talk about that part after. So now, the robbery. Again, I came into the supermarket and I saw, like, normally I just come in and, like, you know, get this, get that, blah 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 blah. But that day when I came in, like, my gut feeling, I was like, something off here. I was like, I ain't come this far, because I was like I was in the same city that I lived in, but way on the other end. And I was like, I ain't coming all the way this far just to come this far, just not leave with what I want to leave with. So I was like, you know what, I already felt like something off, but I was like, let me just get what I need to get, and let me just go. And there were certain things that just stood out to me, like, I could see it clear as day. I was like, the security guard. I'm like, why are you here? You're a security guard. I know it's the end of the day, but you here, like, leaning on the cash register and, like, yawning, and then all of a sudden I realized dude went to the back. I was like, you is security for a reason. Like, why is you here? Stores about to close. I know different things that you need, that they need to do. I'm like, dude, why is you going to the back? I mean, this is one of the most vulnerable parts of the day. Like, anyways, So I still went to get what I need to get because I'm like headstrong again, headstrong. I got what I needed to get. I was at the cash register and I saw these dudes came in. I was like, y'all moving kind of weird. But I was like, let me just get what I need to get and just go. After I saw one of them like in my peripheral like roll, I was like, what, do roll up on me? I was like, what is your problem? Like, can you not see I am here busy? I was like, I did not feel fair. In most of the situations, I get more indignant than I experience fear. I'm like, I wish you would. So I turn around and tell him like, what is your problem? Don't you see me here busy? And I'm not always this aggressive. So when I listen, don't push me in a corner, because anyways. So yeah, I told him like, what's your problem? You know, like back up, like ease up. So he didn't expect me to react that way. So he backed back a bit. After I'm like, you still here though? So now I almost packed in all of my groceries. I paid or whatever, and I didn't pay with cash. I paid with card. So now, if you know like what happens is like the thing pops up, even if you don't pay. Like in certain situation, the cash register pops up, even if there is no cash involved. So now it pops up and the cashier closes it. But now this person comes from behind me. He had a sharp object in his hand. It wasn't a knife. But so now I am turning around like, what is your problem? Because I seen he's trying to get around me to the cashier, right? Thank God, thank God, thank God they were not interested in me or whatever at that point in time. But I turned, I was like, okay. I saw the other guy pull out a knife. Another guy had like what was a gun print. I didn't actually see the gun, but it was a gun print, and he was tinging in his shirt to haul out. Now listen, I just saw a little piece of what looked like metal. I was like, yo. Again, at that point in time, my indignance, I was like, after I was like, child, this could have cost you your life. But anyways, so that happened, y'all. I picked up my stuff and I was out of there. I was gone. I was gone. But anywho, I managed to get away safely. Thank God they were more focused on the cashier than on me. It was three of them. But that. Anyways, so now I went on. They were asking me like, you have what they call slots of for hope, is people who experience whatever they have like trauma, psychologists on watch. They were like, are you okay? Are you sure? This and that. I know it was a really tense situation. Da 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 da. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Whatever. You know, I'm moving on with my life. I was just really annoyed with them, and I was like, why would you do that? I was more annoyed and I was more angry at the situation, and I was also angry at the security for not doing his job, because I'm like, I just saw everything unfold in slow motion. But anyway, so I was more angry at how this situation happened than the situation itself. So I moved along with my life, and about 3 weeks later, I got an interview around the same area. And child, I was already not feeling too good, you know, PMS, whatever. But when I got there, mentally I was in my body, I was feeling uneasy, but mentally I was like, girl, whatever. You gotta do this is a job interview. You could get this job, da, 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 da. But I'm like, I don't know if I even want to work there. But I was going back and forth in my mind mentally, but physically I was feeling uneasy. So now I was like, girl, whatever, mind over matter, let's go. We getting this we getting this interview in, because it's not like I would have to necessarily work directly there in that area, but I could have been put in like in different locations. So anyways, that, excuse me for a second, that being that, when I got to the place, I was feeling so unwell, and I ended up going to the bathroom and I threw up. I literally like vomited because my body was just so uneasy. But my mind, I was just so focused on going in there, getting that interview done, getting the job, and nooses. So I was more sorry guys, my allergies. But anyways, so I was more focused on getting what I came to get and get done what I need to get done. Again, not listening to my body. And now, I mean, after that, I realized like, yo, you were just not okay with being in that certain space, or in that area. This is your body saying, stress, alert, alert, alert. You need to. But again, like I had stuff to do. I had figuring out and I had business to handle. And I was like, you just sometimes do not stand still, and um, you don't really deal with things. Well, at least I don't. And I know a lot of us go through life just brushing things off and not really dealing with them. Fast forward now. Um, fast forward now. Uh, where my past relationship was concerned. And I'm gonna preface this by saying, no, I was not physically abused, but it didn't have to be physical. And I don't want none of y'all going talking to nobody, because I know that some of you guys who look at this, um, know this person. This is not what this is about. It's like, no, I'm sharing my experience to shed light on situations like this that can be avoided and that we can teach, especially our girls, to avoid. Um, or boys as well. Don't get it twisted, because it's for both. And this is a case of listen to your intuition again. Anyway, so I was really open and vulnerable with this person, and the relationship ended. And at a certain point, again, I felt that uneasiness. And this is before anything escalated. I was like, but again in my head, I'm like, I need to do XYZ. I need time, to get things figured out, to do this, to do that, and then get out of there. We live together. But again, I did not listen to that intuition, that intuitive feeling like, mm, mm, you need to be up and out of here like yesterday. But anywho's, so I'm not gonna get into much details or whatever. There were escalations, and now take now thinking back and reflecting and working through it, there were certain aspects of that robbery that also, even though it was a couple of years before that, um, it really affected me in this situation again. Again, it's like that intuitive feeling, you don't listen to it, and then things escalate. Anywho, so things escalated, unfortunately, but I'm okay. I'm okay. But like I say, it does not have to be physical for there to have an effect on your life. This person knew, because I was open and honest with this person knew what buttons to press. And hurt people hurt people. And at that point in time, he was hurt. So what he was trying to do was to hurt me. That's what that boiled down to. But anywho, like I said, if I had listened to my intuition, I would have avoided those things. Um, Not too long after that, um, what spiraled into this, what I said seems to be PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Uh, I said what seems to be because I was not officially diagnosed. I went searching for answers when I saw that I was just not myself anymore. And I was like, oh, that's what it was. But like I said, we are taught to be strong. You move on, you get on with situations, you just go on with life. You don't really deal with the situation at hand. Even though, like, again, there was a mental disconnect to what I was feeling internally. Right after that, there was somebody else that I trusted that also inflicted, uh, that caused pain, like physical pain, directly, indirectly. That was shortly after. After that, there was somebody else come, like two incidents where people came at me like the wrong way, and I was like, yo, I was, I was like, I'm not having this. Like, you need to be gone. Like I say, I spoke about it to the people involved at that point in time. Um, but like I say again, at that point in time, I don't feel fear. I do not feel fear. Like, people see me as this soft, really friendly person, but trust me, boo boo. If you know me well, you know I don't play. So yes, I I was like, no, no, like this situation needs to stop. And so having that happen, also with the fact that that was the beginning of the period when all of this happened, like within 6 7 months, less maybe. But anyways, all of that, well, actually it was more than 6 7 months. It was just, anyway, it wasn't about 7 to 8 months. Now I recollect. Yeah, about 7 to 8 months, all of this was happening. Like, things were happening like back to back to back to back to back. Anyways, so now at the end of that period, it uh then it started off with the amount of deaths that started happening within my family, like rapidly after each other. I was like, it literally felt physically like if every time I would come up to just catch air, I was being pulled back underwater and I was drowning. That is what it felt like physically. And it was just, I think, like one situation after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And yeah, that's when I spiraled into what seems like post-traumatic stress disorder. It lasted up to over a year. Yeah, it lasted over a year. But like I said, normally I would just pick up myself and just continue on. I would just continue on with life. I'm like, it happened, whatever. But all of those compiled situations, they just compounded on one another. And I was like, physically, I was just tired. I didn't enjoy a lot of things I used to enjoy. I didn't even want anybody, like, it was literally a handful of people knew where I lived. Um, I didn't want anybody around me. Oh yeah, then after, also within the building that I live, there was another situation like after that as well. During when I was going through that, yo. Anyways, with another male figure, thank God he is gone. But what I'm trying to say is, I took the I took time to then to really start working through things like emotionally and internally and psychologically, all of that, because clearly there was a mental disconnect. Like, I was just like, okay, go 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 go, but internally I was not okay, and I was just spiraling into this really tense, really not me kind of vibe. And I'm happy to be over that period. Yes, I'm still triggered by certain things and I work through them, but now I can more recognize them at a place of ease. And that's why some people, I be like, listen, you know what? I'ma love you from over there. Like, right now, for me, peace is everything, and anything that does not is not conducive to that, I like, no. It's not that, and I'm also proud of the fact that also at my place of work, there was this dude who was also really aggressive and really loud. And y'all, I don't, to me, everybody is just wrong at the top of their voice. Don't come yelling at me. Especially, like, what? That still taught me, and that experience, I was really proud of how I handled that, because I went at it with this person at the end of it. And I'm like, you know what? It wasn't, I just make my position known. I'm like, this is not how you treat me. I do not appreciate this, and you need to calm to hell down, and you need to look at this, that, and that, and that, and that. And at that point in time, I am happy that that whole episode of feeling anxious and all of that, that did not stop me from being clear with my conflict resolution. I am now like, listen, we're gonna just deal with this and then move on if it's worth it. If not, bad Felicia. But at that point in time, I'm like, no, no, this needs to be dealt with. And I was like, conflict resolution. He didn't appreciate it because everybody, like a lot of people were like scared of him or would just shut up and just not say nothing. But I was like, no, no, this is not the way how you handle things. I'm sorry. So yeah, I was proud of the fact that I wasn't standoffish. I'm able to still go in even though I don't like arguments. And but I would definitely confront a situation if I feel like this needs to be resolved and let's move on from here. Like I said, I was too strong of a personality and I didn't back down as he expected to, and that's why I no longer work there. But anyways, in that case, I also feel like I could have avoided that. But then I'm like, no, in that case, that needed to happen because, like I say, you don't have to run away from every situation. Like, oh, this, I don't like this, then whatever. No, you go in for conflict resolution first, and then it's like, then you wash your hands from it uh, after. But anyways, this all boils down to we tend to move on. We tend to be taught to be strong. We move on in life without actually dealing with things, and it comes back and it catches up with you. Trust me. It happened to me. It caught up to me, and I was like, my like I said in my post, I was like, what is this? Like, this is not my MO. This is not my modus operandus. I'm like, no, this is not the way how I roll. And that again, I was annoyed with myself. I was really, really annoyed with myself. I'm like, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. So I was annoyed with the fact that I was feeling that way and not actually dealing with the situation because I was like, I need to get on with life. But yeah, no. We need to deal with these things. We need to talk about these things. And that's why I'm like, especially my ladies, listen to that intuition. And yes, there's a difference between my fear and my, at least for me, this is the way how I experience it. There are certain fears that I deal with, and I can recognize them as being such. But that intuition, I know the difference between my fear and my intuition because my fear is like mentally. But that intuition, that literal gut feeling by me sometimes is just a whole, like, physically I react. I'm like, no, like, like something ain't right. No. So in that case, battery run out. In that case, I want to tell you, listen to your intuition because it has not steered me wrong yet. So if you, and in practice, in reality, it's like if it works out, as in like certain people I don't even have contact and talk to right now. I'm like, I don't wish you like, I don't wish anything bad on you, but if you cannot conduct yourself in a certain manner in XYZ, like, to be able to have any contact with me, this is how you conduct yourself, and this is how you speak to me. And if you can't do that, well then, no, there is no conversations here. There is no contact here. And I don't need to block anybody. I don't need to go on a rant on social media and outing people, all of that. No, I don't need all of that. I just deal with the situation. I'm like, this is the standard in which you communicate to me. That's like the minimal. That's minimal. Okay? And from there, if that is not met, then kindly remove thyself. Remove thyself, according to the Africans. How does it say? That's so hella funny. But anyways, so yeah, and in reality as well, if you don't feel like never be feeling like you need to be friendly or you need to be kind. Again, like the post said, teach your girls to prioritize safety above being kind. It's like, honey boo boo, if I don't want you to touch me, no way, no how. If I don't want to hug you, if I don't want to kiss you, if I don't want to, like, don't feel no way. This is just me, like, this is just me saying, okay, like, we cool till here. And I don't feel any way about it, because I need to prioritize my safety, and now I am doing that without any feeling of guilt. Without any feeling of guilt, I'm like zen about it. I'm like, okay, cool, like, right here, like, we cool. Thank you. So yes, that is also what I'm gonna leave you with. Always the quote for the week: above everything, listen to your intuition, because it is your safety. Listen, Linda, listen, Lindo, listen to your intuition, because that is your safety. So yes, that is it. If you want to know how I'm doing right now, I'm doing pretty okay. I've had the time to really go in and work through a lot of things, and like I say, I still have triggers that I work through, but I recognize them for what they are, and I deal with them accordingly. And I'm not in that place of like anxious, like closed, like nobody come near me, like no, like I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm okay. Like I could actually say that I am okay. I feel a lot more at peace and like a lot calmer, and just like really in a good place right now. So yeah, that is what that's what my message is for you guys today. And with that, make sure you go out there feeling like you can take over the world by listening to your intuition. So be fabulous, stay fit, and have a fantabulous day, week. Enjoy the extra day off, by the way. All right? Deuces. Mwah. Bye.